who could have done this role.
No, and she's one of them who could and who did.
Really very well done.
Absolutely right. Our next movie is called Event Horizon, another one of those science fiction thrillers where they're marooned way out there in space and there's something not human on board the ship, right there along with them. We've seen this before. We've seen versions of it 3 times in Alien. But so what if the movie is any good? I'm afraid, though, this one is so badly underwritten that the characters seem to repeat themselves in between the action scenes. But the opening is intriguing on board a rescue ship sent to find a secret vessel built to warp space and time. Lawrence Fishburne is the captain, and Sam Neill is the scientist who designed the lost spaceship.
The shortest distance between 2 points is 0, and that's what the gateway does. It folds space so that point A and point B coexist in the same space and time. When the spacecraft passes through the gateway, space returns to normal.
The rescue mission boards the lost ship, which has reappeared near Neptune after having disappeared for 7 years.
Justin, come in.
Then all the crew members begin to hallucinate. Jolie Richardson is a crew member with a theory about what's happening.
What are you telling me, that this ship is alive?
You wanted an answer, and it's the only one I've got.
No, what I want, Lieutenant, is to survive the next 10 hours.
So, okay, the ship tore through the fabric of the universe and came back, and maybe there is something on board. But what? I'm afraid it's whatever satisfies the requirements of the plot at any given moment. In a movie like this, you want at least a few rules so you know in a rough way what they're up against, what can happen, what can't happen. But Event Horizon is all over the map, and I was completely unsatisfied by the behavior of the villain, who knows things he couldn't know and seems to be playing both sides of the game at the same time. I did like the production design. It's a great-looking picture, and I thought the actors did what they could, but the dialogue is very thin.
Well, I'm in a complete agreement with you. Again, this is the classic American movie, or the bad American movie that we're getting made. Action, production design, better than the screenplay. There is basically no screenplay here other than a scientific explanation of the premise.
Yeah, which isn't really...
There are no characters at all.
I was reminded...
You could have the actor... I was thinking this during the picture. I had a lot of time to think about things other than the story, because there wasn't any. That the characters could have changed places. They were so written, so the actors could have...
Well, to give you an example of how thin this movie is, it's obviously inspired by Solaris, which is a great Russian film by Andrei Tarkovsky about a space station around a planet that allows them to imagine that they are seeing things that they feel guilty about or sentimental about from their own past lives. So that's the whole gimmick, and then you just fertilize it with something that attacks them or doesn't attack them. And what you do is you take a great idea, as in Solaris, and you cheapen it down, you dumb it down, and then you wind up with something like Event Horizon.
The whole rhythm is everyone is going to have a panic attack at some point on the and so you just count the characters down, because then you know the movie's going to be over. Coming up later, he's back for the first time in 20 years. Pooh's Grand Adventure.
You are just in time for the best part of the day.
And next, De Niro, Stallone, and Keitel, and a police department's dirty little secret in Copland.
You don't know what you're doing, do you?
Shut up. You came to me, to my town, with all these speeches, and you're talking about doing the right thing, and I'm doing the right thing. What's going on? What are you doing?
Sylvester Stallone there, looking very much like a cop who's eaten more than a few dozen donuts in his lifetime, stars in the exciting new movie Copland as the sheriff of a most unusual New Jersey town, a town where a lot of New York City police officers live more luxuriously than they should be able to afford. That brings Robert De Niro to Stallone's office. He's an investigator for the Internal Affairs Corruption Division.
Lieutenant, I told you I'm watching. I mean, if you look around, you see none of these people are wearing silk shirts. Their pools are above ground, you know. You raise your family somewhere decent. I guess that's a crime now.
The kingpin of the town is a well-connected veteran officer played by Harvey Keitel, another outstanding cast member of Copland.
And you come to me with a plan to set things right. Everyone in the city holding hands, singing We Are the World. It's very nice. But Freddie, your plan is the plan of a boy.
Copland well captures the us versus them mentality that is necessarily so ingrained in police work, especially as revealed in this exchange between Keitel and De Niro.
So what brings you to our fair city? Checking up on us?
I heard it was a way of life out here. Thought I'd check it out for myself. What are we, like the Amish now?
And there are plenty of different levels of conflict among these highly strung characters. Old debts, illicit affairs. Here's Ray Liotta going at it with Robert Patrick. Remember him, the mercurial villain in Terminator 2.
Go home.
Don't shut me out, Ray. You found us a sweet little town, you got us the low interest, and I'm grateful. But don't forget who it was that you came to 2 years ago to cover your ass.
Get him out of here.
I've consciously stayed away from talking about some of the major plot devices of Copland because this screenplay by director James Mangold is one to be savored. He obviously attracted major talent with it, and it's easy to see why. This is a film that has a great sense of reality to it. There's been a lot of publicity about Sylvester Stallone getting off his macho high horse in his career and returning to play now a distinctive character. He's fine in the film, but so is everyone else. Save for a too neat ending, I think Copland is one of the better films of the year.
I was disappointed in it, Gene, and that's
Wow.
especially true because James Mangold did such a great first film when he made Heavy a year and a half ago. This film, to me, has too many characters, too many backstories, too many threads that it's trying to tie together, and doesn't really tie them together. This is enough material for 2 movies. There should have been a clear line from beginning to end, somebody to absolutely follow, more clarity in the storytelling, and the Stallone character is very much on one note until he comes into his own as an action hero again at the end of the movie.
The ending is not worthy of the character definition throughout the picture. But Roger, I mean, I would say I'd like to see more of it, a longer picture, which might have solved your problem, but that's because there's so much richness in it. Didn't you like the whole concept of the picture of that?
Yes, but I kept thinking how it might have been handled by somebody like Scorsese, who would have really zeroed in. Instead
That's
of
a very high bar to put any director against.
But
it's the highest bar.
I might as well, because the fact is, here we have all of these lumps of story background that are thrown in, and the stolen files, and the old newspaper clippings, and all of the lugubrious plot
I didn't
development.
think those were lugubrious. I thought the stuff you just named, I thought was exciting. I do recommend
Exciting?
the picture. Yes, I did.
When we come back, Christopher Robin disappears, and a little bear goes looking for him.
You are just in time for the best part of the day.
What part is that?
The part when you and me become we.
Winnie the Pooh climbs to the top of a tree and greets the new day with his best pal Christopher Robin in a scene there from Pooh's Grand Adventure. This is a new animated Disney feature that's being released directly on video without going to theaters first, and I was surprised how faithful it was to the tone and spirit of the classic Pooh books.
Oh, I want to be with you forever. I want you right here beside me forever.
One thing you should know, no matter where I go, we'll always be together. Forever and ever.
And here's another sweet scene.
The clouds are perfect too, and here I am with you. What could be more right?
Pooh's Grand Adventure is a simple, low-key story, best, I think, for younger children, which is as it should be, since Pooh is aimed at that very age group.
I thought it was charming, and I'm saying it from my age group, in this sense that it was quiet. And there wasn't the souped up, as you said, the spin, the Saturday morning frenzy. That song is a beautiful song. There wasn't a single song in Hercules that anyone is singing or going to remember. That song might work. The other thing is that there is something to the story. It's about believing that it's saying that you're stronger than you believe, smarter than you think. Those kind of things, messages are put through, and it's not talking down. It's written to the character.
I also like the look of the animation, which reminded me of Hercules, because once again, what they're using is that soft watercolor background. It's not so hard-edged, and I thought that worked.
I preferred this in the drawing style that Hercules did. Yes, I did.
Coming up, the revolving thumb is back, pointing to 2 of the best movies of the year.
Explosions, car crashes, aliens invading. It's summer as usual. And also as usual, quality little pictures about the human condition get lost. It happens every summer. And in a special segment, our revolving thumb segment, we want to give thumbs up and a reminder that there are a couple of special motion pictures out there, still out there. One in theaters, one coming up in video that you probably missed. The first one, my selection, is Yuli's Gold. Peter Fonda stars in an Oscar-caliber performance as a beleaguered father and grandparent, a Vietnam vet running a beekeeping business in Florida, who is under tremendous psychological pressure, and we can see it in the way that director Victor Nunez simply and dramatically photographed Peter Fonda's face.
Do they deserve to die?
No. No, Penny, they did not.
Why then?
Those were good guys. Your grandpa was tricky, lucky. That's why I made it out.
We see a lot of life that has been lived by both the character and the actor. And the character of Yuli is severely tested, many times here, by his drug-addicted daughter-in-law. Yuli's Gold is currently playing in over 300 screens after 9 weeks. That's good. It's being held there through word of mouth. So our thumbs revolve, and they point up for one movie that you should consider seeing right now between the big boys of Hollywood, Victor Nunez's Yuli's Gold with Peter Fonda.
I think it's great that Yuli's Gold has done such encouraging business and is still playing in so many theaters, and I'm sure you're right that Peter Fonda is going to win an Oscar nomination, which he certainly deserves. My thumb, though, keeps revolving to give thumbs up also to another great performance that unfortunately didn't get nearly as much attention. Hard 8, starring Philip Baker Hall as a mysterious stranger who knows his way around the gambling casinos of Nevada.
Listen to me. Listening? You go over there to the slot machines, you go to that woman in the cashier's cage, and you ask her where you can find the floor man. She'll point to a guy in a tuxedo, the floor man. You find this guy, you approach him, and you say,
John Finnegan. So anyway, I just flew into town, and I'm going to be playing in this casino.
This is certainly one of the best performances of the year, as this man takes a down-and-out youngster played by John C. Reilly and shows him how to build $100 into a reputation as a high roller.
You take this $150. You take it to that cashier, and you cash it in for dollar tokens. He'll make a note on the rate card saying the amount you've cashed and the time of day.
Hi.
Hi.
I'd like 150 in dollar tokens.
The movie didn't get much distribution around the country, but fortunately it will be out in video stores in a couple of weeks. In a year when I've given 4 stars to only 2 new 1997 films, this Hard 8 is obviously one of the best films of the year, and like Yuli's Gold, it shows an actor in the right role at the right time.
They're both fascinating characters. They're not comparable to other people we've been seeing, and that's what makes them stand out.
And the nice thing is, you and I both know that if people go to see these 2 movies, they will not be wasting their time.
Not at all.
Coming up next, my video picks of the week, and I have a couple of them, 2 wonderful comedies newly out on video.
Intimate, we just have sex occasionally.
Siskel&Ebert's Video Pick of the Week is brought to you by Nestle Raisinets. At the movies or at home, Raisinets.
I've got a double video pick this week, 2 of the best comedies of the last year, both new arrivals in video stores this week. My first choice is Woody Allen's Everyone Says I Love You, which is a magical and very funny musical where the actors, who are mostly not known for singing, sing in their own voices and do a surprisingly good job of selling the classic lyrics. Woody and Goldie Hawn star in the movie's most enchanted moment, a dance on the banks of the River Seine. My second choice is Albert Brooks's Mother, starring Brooks and Debbie Reynolds in the story of a man who just can't get along with women and thinks maybe it might help if he moves back in with his mom and starts all over again. But she drives him nuts with her very peculiar theories of housekeeping.
Look at the date. It's 3 years old.
Well, it's been in the freezer.
Yeah, but how cheap was it that you wanted to buy this much of it?
Honey, this is wonderful cheese. It comes from Switzerland. Very hard to get.
How could it be hard to get? It's all here. I don't want the cheese.
Now, dear.
Mother, stop. I don't want any. I don't want any.
Stop. Wait a minute.
Like this old house.
Well,
These were 2 movies that made me laugh. Albert Brooks's Mother and Woody Allen's Everyone Says I Love You, and they're my video picks of the week. Now let's take another look at the movies we reviewed on this show. 2 thumbs up for G.I. Jane and for Demi Moore's gutsy performance as a woman surviving Navy SEAL training. The film opens next Friday. 2 thumbs down, though, for Event Horizon, where the performances, the sets, and the special effects are there, but the story lets them down. We split on Copland. Although it had promising ingredients, I thought there were too many characters and the story meandered. However, not liking the ending, Gene nevertheless thinks it's one of the better films of the year. Finally, 2 thumbs up for the gentle, amusing Pooh's Grand Adventure, which is now in video stores.
Remember, you can check our votes and hear our reviews of recent movies at our website. The address is www.Siskel-Ebert.com. What a name. That's it for this week. Next week, we'll be back with reviews of more new movies, including Leave It to Beaver, the big screen version of the TV classic, and also Mimic, starring Mira Sorvino up against a really tough mutant bug. That's next week, and until then, the balcony is closed.